Hello, I hope I'm live. Okay, somebody on the Atlas Craftsman forum on Facebook, we were discussing the sound that our gear trains make in the lathes. And I think I've got this pretty well down. I've done a lot of work in this area, and I'm gonna demonstrate this. So here is my lathe, and it's in the low gear back here and the lowest speed on the countershaft. I've got a reamer in it now, and I've been reaming parts that I make. So this is the slowest speed, and this is no Geartrain, just to give you a baseline. So the feed screw is not turning. Now I'm going to put the lead screw in gear, which is going to engage all the gears. And you can see them moving in there now. And you can't hear any difference in the sound. Now, let's do another speed. So I'm still in the low range, which I most often use. And I'm going to go to the highest speed in the low range. And this is going to cause an increase in sound. Oop, get the gear in the belt in the groove. And let's see, let's baseline it in neutral. So you can hear that sound. Now I'm going to put it in gear. And you don't hear all that rattling and all the nasty sounds that you normally hear from a straight cut lathe gearbox. So what's going on here? In my experience, and most of these gears are plastic, and we'll get to that, but in my experience, your number one causes of noise, I've actually got too much gear lash here, okay? Really just a little bit of perceptible slop is all you need. So I could improve it a little bit by tightening this stuff up. Now, this isn't an easy gear lash to change. I have a video on doing that by raising this mechanism with a shim. I've got a plastic gear here, a metal gear here. I should replace this one with a plastic one. I don't know why I don't have a full plastic Geartrain. I thought I did. This is the 1632 compound. This one is also plastic. And these are very often worn out. The bore in them is wore out in the Zamac ones. And this is where most of the sound comes from. Second most of the sound comes from the spider gears interacting with the spindle gear. This is a half-speed drive. So this cuts my feed rates in half on my gearbox. I have a video on how to do that as well with stock gears. I also sell this gear. You can find my my stuff on eBay. The purpose of this video isn't to sell you gears, but it's just to let you know how I'm achieving this. Now, if I had all metal gears in here, it would make slightly more noise. And some gears or some lathes are extremely noisy and rattly, very annoying. In fact, most of them, but it's because of these things and too big a gear lash and the wrong lube. Now you want to use a 20 or 30 weight non-detergent oil to lubricate the bushings in all your gears, okay? But what I like for gear lube is Motor Honey. And I don't remember who first suggested this to me. It wasn't my idea, but it's very sticky. It doesn't run off the gears very easily. It will hold chips, so you do want to clean the gear train periodically and relubricate it. And that's the drawback of using a thick oil. It isn't grease. Here, let's see if I can show you how it flows. So it's just a very, very thick oil. Now, I've also heard of people using rope and wire lube, which is even thicker than this, but this is very easily obtainable. The wire lube is not easily obtainable. You can get this at any AutoZone or anything like that. So that's kind of all the secrets. Now, why am I running plastic gears? I sell these gears, and so I absolutely run what I sell. I have nice quality gears for all of these positions. You may have seen at some point in the past where I put um, a video on Facebook or maybe even on YouTube taking um, a very large amount off of the diameter. I forget what I forget what I'm up to. I know I can take 100 thousandths off of a steel bar very easily with this lathe, and these gears do not fail. So this stuff is all A number one. Now you might wonder what this gear is. Well, this was one of these gears that was here, and I just used an extra stud to store it back here. And I forget now, but this also can come into play if I want to remove this gear and go to switch gear ratios. But I run this lathe all the time with my half-speed driving, and it gets my feed rates down. It cuts everything in half, which means you get twice as many threads per inch as shown on the quick change gearbox. Definitely something worth looking into. I don't know that I would be a fan of these gears in the quick change gearbox. Those are all steel from the factory, but these ABS gears that I make are awesome for replacing the Zamac gears. And there's a lot of garbage out there. You want to really be careful what you buy. Almost everybody sells parts made out of PLA. PLA in a hot garage will melt. It's constantly kind of moving over time. It's like a 1-year plastic if you're lucky. ABS, this is what a lot of drill cases and things are made out of, although those are glass filled, which is quite a bit stronger. It's still very, very tough. Your garage gets up to, 110, 120, 130 degrees on a hot sunny day. These are not going to fail. You can still cut things on your lathe. They're not going to melt. They're not going to get soft and distort. You can do beautiful work with these. But forget the plastic gears. If you set up all your lashes correctly, you make sure you can take the factory 16 by 32 and rebush it. You can get a bush from McMaster Carr. That's got a centered bronze bushing in it. And you can get rid of a lot of the noise. You might have a hard time finding a set of metal tumbler gears. I don't know if you can still get these from Clausing or any of the other machine shop suppliers, but look at replacing look at tuning this area up, and you'll get rid of a lot of noise. And if you can't find any of that stuff, or if you're not afraid, give some of my gears a try. These are economical, and they work really well. And if you crash your lathe, these are gonna strip easier than the Zamac gears. You're less likely to do any kind of serious damage. But these gears are strong enough to take everything the motor here can do. So really, that's it. That's all. Hope you enjoyed my demonstration, and let's hear it high speed and the low range one more time. And you can see the oil webbing there. So beautiful material for this job. This has been Dave on the Crafted channel. Hope you learned something.